Hey guys, it is Nick here with another Nick's Topics Dragon Ball What If topic video for today. And today we are getting into part 15 of What If Giran Became a Z-Fighter. Now, we are approaching the finale of this particular What If. I know I said, I think in the last part that this was going to be the finale. If I did say that, then I lied. If I didn't, well, then now you know we have one more part to go. Anyways, we recap with the cast for the Tournament of Power, with the additions of Yamcha, Mecha Frieza instead of normal Frieza, and Nail. And if you want to know the explanation as to how these characters are available, watch the last episode for a recap. Anyways, everyone for the tournament for Universe 7 is chosen, and everything's worked out. We then get to everyone being whisked to the world of Void to begin the tournament. Only with one Zeno instead of two, same as last story, because there's no future Zeno. Anyways, to start off, we still get the interaction between Frieza and Frost, except it's Mecha Frieza, and Mecha Frieza is holding in regard, albeit to himself, that he plans to get rid of this look-alike, so to speak, because, for one thing, he has two goals in mind now, and not just one, to get his body back and be wished back, and he just views this sort of as a faker. Him like, so much weaker than he could be. So, he'll deal with him later. Anyways, the Goku versus Hit fight at the beginning of the tournament would still happen. If you want to know how that's even possible, watch my What If Hercule Was a Z-Fighter for clarification. It's because there's no Zeno exhibition and Goku would see Hit as his main target right away. So Goku would begin fighting Hit right away, and Giran would be there to back him up if needed. But since Giran fought Hit whenever he was tired, he knows the Hit would be more on guard with him, so they take fighting Hit very seriously, but still manage to beat him. Now, the whole thing with Basal, Narirama, Napapa, and Lilabu all fighting each other, same with my What If Hercule Was a Z-Fighter, them all fighting each other, and everything, that pretty much goes down the same exact way, with Basal ultimately retreating and the three duking it out. So, yeah. As for Nink, since everyone, like Goku and them, are fighting different opponents and the fights are changed up a little bit, it's a bit more into the tournament whenever we see Nink, and he hasn't gotten a hold of Goku yet, but Giran opts to take him out after they've taken down Hit, because, for one thing, muscly, kind of like him, and he views that he himself should be able to take him down with his superior techniques and stuff, and strength. Goku agrees to this and opts to take out Ganos, who also teams alongside Nink to try and, one, overcome them, and two, just to try and get a win. But the two are easily destroyed, or defeated, more likely. Anyways, Universe 9 is the next priority of the Tournament of Power, and honestly, this segment, besides the fact that it's Goku and Giran fighting, and the fact that it's Mecha Frieza instead of normal Frieza, besides the fact that Vegeta isn't there, this segment would go pretty much the same exact way. So, not two major differences, but Universe 7, the three guys ultimately coming out on top. Anyways, then we get to Boda Magetta, and since there's no Vegeta to take him out, Giran and Goku decide to do the honors. They're the closest to them, and Hit's out of the way, so they don't gotta worry about him. Giran decides to take out Magetta, knowing what weakens him, and just because he never got a chance to fight him, so hey, this will be a pretty easy victory since he knows Magetta's weakness. Goku opts to take out Botamo, similarly to how he did in the Universe 6 vs. 7 tournament, but it's harder this time because it's Bota Magetta and not just Botamo. But the two are still defeated rather handily by Goku and Giran, obviously. Anyways, Diem then tries his luck at attacking the Universe 7 group who didn't split off, and there's a lot more of them because of no androids and Vegeta, but he's still rather handily defeated. And then as for Shosa and Majora, Krillin is still there, but with no 18, it's more or less him to start off fighting against Shosa, and then falls for his play dead technique, but ultimately Krillin does survive this because Yamcha is there to back him up. And it's much more potent with the two Earthlings than it is with Krillin and 18, because these two have known each other since the beginning, and they win rather handily. Frost then tries his luck to attack the two, and since both of them are in synergy and not distracted separately like it was with Krillin and 18, they actually fight Frost together. And this is much more potent since there's two ganging up on Frost, but even so, Frost is still stronger than them. This Krillin and Yamcha are stronger than the original story, but they're still not able to take him down. And just before Frost is about to knock him out, Mecha Frieza comes right from behind Frost, taking Frost off guard and blasting him out of the ring. Mecha Frieza saying that this was all just a game, and plus, if his team loses, he can't be wished back or get his body back, and basically tells Frost that he was using him. And it worked rather handily. Anyways, we then get to the segment of Goku fighting the likes of Caulifla and Kale. And the build-up for that is pretty much the same until Kale transforms into her Berserker state. Now, Giran, seeing this as an immediate threat, goes and powers up with his Destroyer powers to combat Kale and ultimately take her down before she either A, kills somebody, or B, knocks out their team. And with Giran using his powers and Goku powering up to his max like he did with Kale before, Caulifla and Kale together are knocked out way earlier on. So, it's much more... Even though there's no Vegeta, it's still very noticeable that the gains from everybody else are quite noteworthy. And as for the 5 Pride Troopers, even though there's no androids, there's no Caulifla and Kale in the ring, Universe 7 ultimately defeats the 5 Pride Troopers without too much difficulty. Now as for Universe 2, well, the startup for their transformation is good. We get to the scene wherever Universe 2 makes their entrance known and begins their whole kamikaze transformation and whatnot. But here's where Vegeta comes into play again. And I know it's a running gag throughout this whole series, but this is most noteworthy. You know that scene where Giran cut one of Ribrianne's hearts whenever it was blasted at him, and he was about to blast Ribrianne, but Vegeta did the honors, and it ultimately turned into a fight between him and Ribrianne? Well, since there's no Vegeta, Giran successfully blasts Ribrianne out of the ring. Now, I know you guys might think that that's BS. Well, I don't know how many of you actually like Ribrianne, and this is not me trying to diss at her character. It's the fact that Vegeta's relevance would once again be potent here, because Jiren's blast would be much more accurate than Vegeta's was. So after Ribrianne's knocked out, Rosie, Kakunza, and Vikkel are all defeated pretty much rather handily. For one thing, because they're just distracted and in awe and shock that Ribrianne was knocked out so casually, and the fact that Universe 7's combined attack on them is very potent. I know I'm using that word a lot, sorry if I am. Anyways, after Universe 2 is made a fool of, for Gohan and Piccolo, Botamo is not there, so we don't have the Gohan versus Botamo scene. Small thing, I know, but still enough to point out. Anyways, we still get to the scene of them fighting against Albany and Rubalt, but there is an extra character in the mix which provides some help in the aids of Universe 10. You see, because Kale did not get to go on her Berserker Rage, well, she did, but she didn't, like, spread her energy out and everything, that means that Methiep is still in the competition. So, small thing I know, but they're still defeated rather handily. Pretty much the same way, except Gohan is God Key, Piccolo's stronger, and the fact that that's pretty much it. And Universe 10 is erased effectively. Now, to go on next worth, Kawaii and Dakuri are still eliminated by Master Roshi, and there is no Ganos since Goku and Giran took care of him and Nink. And then we get to the tag team of Hermilla and Prum, which instead of getting eliminated by Tien and Vegeta, they get eliminated by Krillin, using the multi-form to his advantage, and Yamcha. So no one is eliminated here, and Universe 7 effectively has all of its members still. Impressing everybody on the team, well, mainly themselves, and Zenos, who take them, or Zeno, more like it, taking an even bigger liking to Goku and his team to begin with. Anyways, we then get on to where Majikayo would originally attack Giran, but then get intercepted by Dispo, only to get knocked out by Giran a few minutes later. But since Hit was knocked out earlier on in the tournament, that means Dispo and Kanchi are at their best right now. So the two of them effectively knock out Majikayo. Now, we then get on to the scene where Gohan and Jamise would fight. And since Gohan is much more stronger than he was in the anime adaptation of this, Gohan beats Jamise rather handily. But this would be the first time where he would get to know of instant transmission. It's a small thing, but he would still defeat Jamise. We then get to Goku versus Jiren, and the build-up is the same as before until they get into when Goku gets into his blue form. But while they're fighting, Giran is not helping Goku. Why is that exactly? What else would he be doing other than helping Goku? Well, he's got his own problems. In the face of Topo, or Top, I'm sorry, however you want to say his name, who confronts Giran and knows him to be the Universe 7 candidate for Destroyer, and says that he isn't the only candidate for Destroyer in this tournament, and that he himself is going to show Giran what a true candidate for Destroyer's power is like. Can Giran take on this new kind of threat? What kind of powers will be displayed between two candidates for Destroyers? Well, if you guys want to find out the answer to that, you'll have to wait until next time, because that's where we're going to be leaving things for the moment. And if there were mistakes in my audio in this video, I'm sorry for that. I had to actually cut my audio between two separate parts of my audio recorder because it took me a minute to remember the name of Methiep from Universe 10. But aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.